Hey guys, how's everybody doing today? You know, I told you yesterday when we started that I'm using Orrin Woodward and Chris Brady's book, Leadership and Liberty, the pieces of the puzzle, and it's been fun because anytime you're going through your own personal devotions, you're going through your own meditation time, and what I do is I grab a cup of coffee, and usually it's out at the beach, but it's been so cold this week, I've been going over to the local Waffle House. And I tell you what, when you show up at Waffle House before 5 o'clock in the morning and after midnight, there's that little window there, you meet some interesting people. They look different, they act different, they smell different, and they talk different. And as I was sitting there this morning, just kind of looking around and writing in my journal, I opened up the book and it said people skills, victory over self. And I'm sitting here looking around and I'm thinking, you know, the outward appearance of people sometimes allows our ego to go out of check. I mean, it's amazing because I've always looked at ego as edging God out. I don't know where I stole that from, but I stole it from somebody. And I thought, man, I don't ever want to be that way. I really do want to keep my ego in check. And it's tough, especially in the network marketing arena. You're going up against competition. You're out there boogieing around. You're doing your stuff. And I thought, man, and as I started reading through what Orrin and Chris had written in here, you know, I was amazed at myself because I realized I have a unique background. I've been in and around organized crime. I grew up in a family that was very union oriented back when Jimmy Hoffa and Frank Fitzsimmons and all these guys were running things. I had uncles that were in organized crime, used to run numbers in gas stations. When I wrote bail, I was on retainer for a local family in Kansas City. So, you know, I've been around that type of people. I've seen call girls, I've seen prostitutes, I've seen professional torches, people that go out and burn things up for insurance. I've seen murderers. We've seen all kinds of stuff. And as I started to wonder, what's my purpose in life? Where does God want to lead me? I started learning that I needed to understand why people do what people do. And so when I was reading this today, I thought, man, people skills is truly important, but what's even more important is getting over that ego, getting over the fact that you think you're better than somebody else. And one way that we've done that is I've never forgotten where I came from. Never forgot the violence that I've seen in my life. I never forgot the way my mom was with her diagnosis early on and was in the mental institution. I'll never forget sitting in one of those chairs with the electrodes, you know, on my head as they wanted to see, was this hereditary or what's causing it. You know, and as I came into network marketing, I started to see different personalities. I'll never forget looking at Art Williams in Kansas City when he was on stage and thinking, if this little bald-headed fat man can do this, I know I can. Now, God's got an ironic sense of humor, obviously, because now I'm bald-headed, and although I'm not fat, I definitely could afford to lose some pounds and put on a little bit more muscle. So I snicker at that. I look around network marketing and I see these guys in French cuffs and fancy suits and custom-made shirts, and I show up usually in flip-flops, a pair of shorts, true, they're Tommy Bahamas, but I look out of place. And I thought, you know, it's that first impression that sometimes we don't get around. So as I'm sitting there at Waffle House, looking at not just the people there, but the people serving me, I had to say, Lord, thank you. Thank you for an opportunity of being able 10 years ago to bring my family to the beach, to be able to relocate from basically our homestead in Kansas City where we'd lived and grown up for 35 years to a brand new adventure down here where we live a block off the beach on a beautiful island that people come to on vacation and get in a bad mood when they leave because they can only be here for a day or two. I started looking this morning at my own friends here at Facebook and over all the people that we contact and touch at the blogs, and I said, Lord, thank you for these people. You know, give me an opportunity to touch somebody's life. Let me remember that it's not about me. And one of the things that I think is so good that the guys wrote in their book was, a great leader must rise above the stress, the setbacks, the self-concerns to focus on serving others anyway. Now, this really meant something to me, and I stopped right there and I said a quick prayer for Chris and Orrin because It's no secret. You can see on Orrin's blog, and you can see around the industry that they've been in a legal battle with Amway. And I thought, man, you know, here they are fighting for something they believe in, something that's a principle, a crusade, a right. And the whole time they're doing that, they're writing these books. They're putting videos together for their own team. They're helping support their team and help them. They're helping their teams go on and do other things. I was talking to somebody at lunch this week who's actually left team, and he's moving into a different company, different everything. And I thought, you know, these guys have raised up leaders that have gone on to do other stuff. But in the midst of it, they're fighting their own battle. And it amazes me how a true servant leader, somebody that has learned the people skills, somebody that probably still struggles from time to time with ego, let's just call it what it is able to keep that in check, is able to keep their focus on the Lord, is able to keep the focus on the big picture. I know some of you that watch this don't understand when I refer to the Lord, and that's cool. Just look at it this way. If you keep the eye on the ball, then you're going to know where it's at, and that's what these guys are able to do. They're able to keep their people first. And that's what I like. And there's some great leaders out there, but every time I'm on the phone with Orrin, every time he sends me an email, every time I see something that he's written, every time Chris is like I think the power behind this. He's definitely the funny man behind this duo here. And when I see stuff that he's written and stuff that he said, you know, it's like, man, these two, I mean, God put these guys together early on, and I'm telling you what, they have raised up some great leaders over the days. But as I was reading this, I thought, man, he brings in Alexander the Great and Julius Caesar. And when I had to stop for a minute at Alexander the Great, and the reason I did is because one of my mentors, Hubert Humphrey, just admires Alexander the Great and has built 2 gigantic companies and 3 huge organizations around the whole concept of Alexander the Great. And I mean, gave away swords and shields and all this stuff. But as I've struggled in history to look at this, there's not a lot written about Alexander the Great's family after he died. His legacy was self-proclaimed. His legacy was there when he was alive, but when he was gone, the empire, the family, anything that bared his name except history was wiped out. There's no descendants of Alexander the Great that I've been able to come across. So when I read this, I thought, wow, a great leader, somebody that puts self in check, somebody that's able to lead a team, somebody that's able to grow a family. When they put that ego behind, they become a leader of a legacy. They leave something behind. Their legacy continues. See, heroes die. Legends live forever. That's what I want to be known for. Orrin Woodward is a legend. Chris Brady's a legend, not in an egotistical way, but in the fact that you can see nuggets of stuff that they've written, stuff that they've said. I can hear their voices on stage from people that have never met them who have read their stuff. They're passing on something here that will go on and on. And this isn't a quick little, you know, Troy's deal to so much promote Chris and Orrin, although I think you guys should go over to Chris or Orrin's blog and probably buy this book. I know I'm getting one for my boys. But this is to say, keep yourself in check. Every day when you talk to people on the phone, every day when you look at people, don't let that first impression stop you from building a new relationship. Go out there and help people that can't help you back, and then take time to help your team in the way they need to be helped. Hey, y'all, have an awesome weekend. Live life like it's an epic adventure. We'll see you the first of the week.